What's going on, everybody? 404 here, bringing you this best of 5 series between the red Protoss player, duckloadRa, spawning down here at the 6 o'clock position on Metalopolis, and now the purple Protoss player, LiquidTLO, playing as random, spawning up here around the 2 o'clock position again on Metalopolis. So, close spawn positions again. This is game number 4 in the best of 5 series. If you haven't seen the other games this far, go ahead and check those out. They were actually pretty good. One thing though is they've actually been really quick games. So no macro games, and it doesn't look like we're going to see a macro game again this time either, on this map at least, because they are in close spawn positions. It looks like duckloadRa is going to go ahead and scout that fairly early, and both players will know, that the spawn positions, because TLO will see the timing of that scout. And he can only assume that they're in close spawn positions, because if you spawn up here, you want to scout this position first. And if you spawn, here or here, you want to scout the close rush distance as opposed to the further rush distance or the close air distance. Just because that very, very, greatly decides the differentiation on any kind of build. So similar builds from both players. Looks like the gas does go down for TLO just a little bit earlier. But now, like I said, this is game 4. TLO is behind by, what, one game? Game 4? 2-1. Yeah, 2-1. So TLO needs to win this one to hang in there. So we'll see him pull all the stops in this game. I presume, I don't think Protoss is his best race, as he did play Terran for a long time. Well, a little bit of backstory about TLO is he played a random through the beta, and then once the game came out, he played Terran, I think. Then I think he switched to Zerg for just a little bit. Now he plays random. But duckloadRa getting a lot of shots off on this pylon. I don't think there will be any serious damage before the Zealot comes out, because if it was, that would be a badass probe right there. He would win Probe of the Year, and he would get all kinds of awards and stuff like that. And it doesn't look like that's going to happen. He actually might lose this probe. Did he lose that probe? There was a probe over here. He must have lost that probe, because I was going to say his health was getting very, very low. And I might not have been paying much attention at all. But LiquidTLO has this probe alive in the base of duckloadRa. It looks like duckloadRa is just going to go ahead and slice that probe in half. Warp gates coming online for about the same time. Actually, TLO's warp gates are actually way ahead, so that's surprising. And wow, duckloadRa mining no gas from this Vespian geyser. So that's kind of crazy. Looks like he might go for some kind of I'm not even going to try to predict that. I'm not sure. It looks like he is going to try to put on some early pressure with these two Zealots here, but I don't think it's going to work that good, because TLO is going to have a Stalker out, which you can just easily micro those units away. Proxy Pylon in a very peculiar spot. That's not a good spot. He should put it over here, or even just on the low ground, so it can't get picked off by that Stalker there. But wow, TLO had to pull a couple of probes off the line there. I don't think he lost many. Still pretty much even in the Harvester's count. But one Zealot and one Stalker for each player here. Stalker does go down for duckloadRa. Now it's 1 versus 1 again, but another Stalker is about to pop for TLO here, and more probes being have pulled off the line here. So very, very strange playstyle by duckloadRa. He's put on some early pressure, and now this Proxy Pylon is going to be here, and Warp Gate really isn't close to being done. Well, that's kind of close to being done, but 3 Stalkers now up. We'll be able to take care of that before TLO can, before duckloadRa rather, can warp into any of these units. It's really hard to freaking cast a mirror matchup like this. So units tried to warp in. Pylon did get shut down there, so I think the cooldown is now burnt. No? Yeah. I don't know if the cooldown was lost on that or not, but anyways, probes now back on gas. It does look like, I don't know, I don't even really know how to describe this play out of duckloadRa here. Very weird, very strange. He is now supply blocked even, so maybe, I don't know, maybe he was trying something different and it just didn't work the way he wanted it to. But either way, I'm sure it's not the way duckloadRa wanted this game to go. No longer has a proxy pylon. On the other hand, it does look like LiquidTLO is getting a pretty sizable force here, running off 2 gases, so he will have more Stalkers and or sentries. and even throwing down a Twilight Council here. So we should see, I would presume we'd see a blink, because there's really not that many zealots, and he still is running off 2 gas here. So LiquidTLO going to try to sneak this probe in there. Doesn't really get it in there, so he doesn't really know exactly what's going on. He can, you know, just assume that he's ahead for now, but of course, whiteRa, very, very good Protoss player, could be throwing down any type of shenanigans like a Dark Shrine or something like that, which could really, really throw LiquidTLO off his game. But now whiteRa going for some kind of robotics facility tech. Your guess is as good as mine. He might go for an observer. And over here, meanwhile, looks like LiquidTLO going for hallucination, as well as blink coming out of that Twilight Council there. So this should be a very, very micro-intensive battle here. Maybe just getting that hallucination to scout. Might get it to just throw off the Protoss player whiteRa even more. So both players right now sitting on about a fairly even army. But once blink finishes, TLO will be able to warp in a lot more stalkers than whiteRa can afford. And it does look like the Phoenix is going to get out of here across the map right before the observer finishes. If whiteRa was looking, he will know that that is hallucinated. Otherwise, he's just going to use it for scouting. He knows exactly what's going on over here. Does he even go over here and scout this expansion? No, because he knows that there's no way he can afford that. So it looks like the proxy pylon has been thrown down by whiteRa here. Lots of zealots going to try to push up this round. There is enough energy for one force field, it looks like, on that sentry, as TLO does try to warp in more and more stalkers. This observer, though, is given sight up onto the high ground. Nice job. Nice force field trapping all those zealots here. It looks like TLO should be able to kill all those zealots. And now that his blink's done, he's just going to be warping in more and more stalkers, and should be able to out-blink micro this Protoss whiteRa here. So yeah, as the shields go down, it looks like TLO is just going to select each stalker here, press B, click back, and that is how you blink micro. Of course, it's a lot easier said than done. It requires a lot of APM. APM showing whiteRa, TLO rather, around 200 APM current, and there's not even a battle going on now, so that'll be something cool to look at while he's trying to blink micro. 250, 260. Looks like he just knows his army is just way bigger. Blinks all the way down to the low ground. Starts picking off all these units, but there are more units warping in, and we should see him blink back some of those units just to try to keep them alive. But I don't think there's much whiteRa can do in this situation here. It looks like TLO even has full chrono boost on his Nexus. whiteRa over here, full chrono boost as well. Should chrono boost these gateways. Looks like he is going to get an immortal out, so that'll help. Every little bit helps, of course. Should try to get a couple sentries out. Of course, he's starved for gas right now, but should get a sentry out, try to force feld this ramp. But now I think it is just a little bit too late. TLO will be able to just blink in there and just start killing everything in his base. Probes and pulls a lot, not many, just a few. Maybe wait for this immortal to come out, but I don't think that magic immortal will be the answer. They are really good, but they're not that good. They can't take on what, 10 or 11 stalkers here. Stalkers do blink up on the high ground, take that sucker out. More zealots trying to be warped in by whiteRa. I think it's too little, too late. whiteRa does GG out of game. This was game 4 of the best of 5 series. If you haven't seen the other games, well, that's too late, because now you've seen this game and you know what's up. So the series is tied 2-2. We will be going on to game 5, and stay tuned for that game.